your life is on the line and you know that you're on an oxygen tank and they're going to put two in your head, see what you do. Because the bottom line is that me, I'm one person. I can never miss.
Guy's not being loyal to you. How could you be loyal to him? Yeah. And whether you're your father or not. So, but it's always been hard because it was my father.
The word came down, this guy had to go. We didn't know nothing about him until the last minute. And I liked him. I liked Bill. He was a nice guy, but...
Welcome to the show. Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the Gilgo Beach murders and what's going on with that investigation. Before we get started, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch my show. So they caught the Gilgo Beach murderer, and he's been on the run. Well, been out there for quite a while, and they finally caught up with him. And there's a bunch of people online talking about this guy. One girl was in some kind of networking group, and I seen a video of her talking about this guy. She said he was really creepy. She met him in a bar one day. And if you look at the suspect description, it looks just like this guy. So I don't know if I could find it. I'll find it. So we're going to watch a video about them catching this guy. Let's get into the video.
After years of unanswered questions, a break in the unsolved Gilgo Beach murders out of Long Island, as officials announce a suspect is now in custody. Multiple news outlets now reporting the suspect is 59-year-old Rex
What's up,
Heuermann
man?
of Massapequa Park.
Rex Heuermann. I'm an architect. I'm an architectural consultant. I'm a troubleshooter. Born and raised on Long Island.
Local TV stations report Heuermann was taken into custody in Long Island early Friday morning when a special task force surrounded his home. An architect, Heuermann told YouTube reporters last year he's worked with New York City's Department of Buildings since the late 1980s.
There's speculation that this guy was not acting alone. There's speculation that this guy is just the fall guy for a bigger picture of what's going on out there. So who knows if that's true? And in the days to come, I'm sure we'll find out a lot more what's up with this.
I do troubleshooting, architectural troubleshooting, and negotiations with the building department.
But it was 23 years after his architecture career began in 2010 when the first body was recovered in the so-called Gilgo Beach murders. The investigation started in 2010 after escort Shanann Gilbert went missing near Gilgo Beach. In the search for Gilbert, investigators recovered 4 bodies on the beach, all women in their 20s who were working as escorts. In total, 9 women, 1 man, and a toddler have been discovered along the beach about an hour east of Manhattan.
And he's only been charged with 3 of the murders, with 3 murders of 3 women. So he's not charged with anything else. But I guess if you kill over 3, that means you're a serial killer, right?
After the bodies were discovered, the murders mysteriously stopped. Just 1 year before his arrest, Heuermann said the most important aspect of his job is patience.
After all those years, what do you think is the most important qualities a person in your position dealing with the DOB must have?
Patience.
That's funny. I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah. Patience, and I don't like to use the word tolerance, but sometimes you have to.
In the interview, Heuermann said working with people was the most interesting aspect of his career.
And there's a bunch of things about this guy that was really creepy, this chick said. She said he was all about himself, like he used to just like talk all about himself all the time. I know a lot of people like that too. But here's what led to the arrest of the Gilgo Beach murderer. On Friday, Rex Hannerham was charged with murder of 3 of the killings, and prosecutors called him prime suspect in a 4th. Massapequa, Park, New York. First find is startling. A woman's skeletal remains cast into the dunes along a remote Long Island highway, and then came in shock. Days after the discovery in December 2010, police discovered parts of 3 more women nearby in a sand dune at a place otherwise known as Gilgo Beach. The remains of 6 other people were found alongside several miles of the same parkway during the next few months. An 11th person whose disappearance had spurred initial search was found dead by highway in December of 2011. So this has been going on for a while. Like, they've been looking for this dude for a long time. This isn't like something new. Pasquale, how you doing, man? Shout out to you, bro. Our interview's doing pretty good. Go check out the interview with Pasquale. We got another show that I'm going to be dropping with him, and it's pretty good. It's got a lot of information in it. I'm working on it right now, trying to get it out as soon as possible. But so I got this video. Let's get back to the video.
But it's the people, how they're all so different, and how you deal with the people, I think, is one of the more interesting aspects that have come out of this.
We're still working to learn more details about Heuermann. We're expected to learn more Friday afternoon when the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office holds a press conference. Stay with Long Crime Network for the latest developments in this story.
Bam. They're not playing with that dude, man. He's a high-profile case. The serial killer was on the run for about 10 years. Definitely, man. They've been looking for his ass. I remember watching documentaries about this. And for them to finally be like, bam, we got him. Something doesn't make sense, because there are other people that made videos online, and I'll share them with you when I find them, of the conspiracy in this case, because there was a 911 call, and there's a lot that goes into this. Here, we'll check out this other news report, see what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like this video, and if you don't, start your own podcast, man. Let's get down to business.
A suspected serial killer on New York's Long Island has been arrested. 59-year-old Rex Heuermann was charged with the murders of 3 young women Friday. Officials say he is also the prime suspect in a 4th murder. The remains of the victims, along with 7 others, were found near Gilgo Beach on the south shore of Long Island more than 10 years ago. The suspect is a Manhattan architect who lived across the bay from the crime scenes. He has pleaded not guilty. Meg Oliver takes us inside the case.
Rex, did you do it?
Police say Rex Heuermann, a New York City architect, is the suspected serial killer they've been hunting for over a decade. Heuermann lived on this quiet street in Massapequa, Long Island. He was arrested near his Manhattan office last night and arraigned today.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families,
Prosecutors said investigators were led to Huerman initially after a witness reported seeing a pickup truck when one of the victims disappeared in 2010. Investigators later recovered his DNA from a pizza crust he discarded in Manhattan and matched it to genetic material found on the bodies. They also linked him to other evidence, including burner phones used to arrange meetings with the victims.
We're continuing to execute search warrants, and we anticipate getting more evidence.
See, there's a lot more information out there than people know, and they're just holding on to it. And people really don't know how much information they have. They're just giving you what they want to give you.
Today, Huerman was charged with murder in the deaths of 3 women and is the prime suspect of another victim whose bodies were first discovered on Long Island in 2010. The women, all sex workers, were found wrapped in burlap bags. Shannon Gilbert was among those who went missing after making this desperate call to 911.
There's somebody out there. Where are you, ma'am? I don't know.
In all, police found the remains of 11 people in the area of Gilgo Beach, including a toddler. The killings terrorized residents around 40 miles from New York City for more than a decade.
To wake up and find out that that's where he lived. It's shocking.
So it's like a media frenzy outside this guy's house. It's insane. I think I have pictures of that. All the people sitting outside. It's like a circus out there. Here's a map of the crime scene. Here's a picture of them taking him out of after they arrested him. Here's a picture of the box of pizza they got his DNA from. That pizza cost him his freedom. Shouldn't have been out there killing women, probably. Let's finish up this video.
On his website, Huerman posted this interview that he gave last year, bragging about his work in New York City for 35 years.
When a job that should have been routine suddenly becomes not routine, I get the phone call.
In 2020, Melissa Kahn spoke to 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty about the day her sister, Maureen Brannard Barnes, was discovered.
What I want most is answers and justice. And I also want that the world to know, like, my sister mattered.
Huerman pleaded not guilty today based on the heinous nature of these crimes.
Pasqua says, I remember that. It's out of control. Bodies were popping up left and right. I remember because they had it on the news out here in Connecticut when they were discovering the bodies out there. It was all over the news. And they would find a body, it would be all over the news, and then it would die down. And then like some time would go by, they'd find like another body or some parts or something. They had the 911 call. There was a documentary that was published about it. And it was just constant information was coming out about this. But whatever happened, if you guys don't remember, there was a documentary about this case. And there was a doctor that lived by. He was involved with this. There's a lot of wealthy people that are around this area that live right near this place who know more information than they're letting out. I think there is more than one person. And I think this guy is probably the fall guy. Because there was a house where a woman was running from. The driver. Where's the driver? How come the driver's not being questioned? He was the one trying to get her into the car. They're all conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy with all these people, especially him. He looks just like the sketch. His eyes look the same. Looks exactly the same. People don't want to go to that beach. I wouldn't want to either, man. Shit. You're out there just enjoying the sun and a hand pops up out of the sand. The hell do you do then?
He's being held without bail. His next court date is August 1st. Catherine? Meg Oliver, thank you for your reporting. Let's bring in Mary Ellen O'Toole. She's a retired FBI special agent and the director of the Forensic Science Program at George Mason University. So let's talk about the big difference first that technology made in this case.
Yeah, it's incredible how far we've come in terms of forensic science. So we've got incredible advances in DNA, and then in cell phones. So that really made a difference in this case. And what's so interesting is that this offender committed these murders 10 years ago, thinking that none of this would have become significant and that he probably committed the perfect crime.
He thought
And
he was in the
the issue
clear.
is that he left forensic evidence behind. We just needed to wait for the technology to catch up.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that point. Look, some of this DNA evidence they're using is kind of very new, very revolutionary. Has it been tested in court?
Yes, it has, but it will be really tested in this case. And so that's what the defense will bring to the case, is all the questions about how is it collected, how is it processed, how is it analyzed, how is it interpreted, what are the credentials of the people who did all of that work.
And what about the other people that are involved? Because there's definitely people involved that they don't want to talk about. 100%. Gilgo Beach. And the people out there know who it is. The people involved know who it is. But yo, if you guys like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you don't, too bad. Start your own podcast. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. I got a lot of good shows that are going to be dropping very soon. I'm dropping the one about Francesco Belso. That one's getting dropped 6 o'clock. And don't miss tomorrow, Most Wanted Part 1. It's a great story. Part 1 at 3 o'clock. And coming up very soon, I've been working on a show about this guy. The rat Sonny should have killed. That's going to be a good one. So if you guys like this type of content, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. See you soon. And remember, don't be a bitch.